If you've got a comment or a question for us, here's where to write. soloparenting@cynthiamacgregor.com.
Violence against women doesn't discriminate.
Every 15 seconds, a woman in the U.S. becomes a victim of domestic violence.
60% of men who abuse women also
abuse children.
If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence,
call Safe Horizon at 1-800-621-4673.
Please call.
Our next guest is insurance specialist and former state representative, Kevin Rader. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you.
Kevin, let's talk insurance. How are the needs of a single parent different from the needs of a married parent in insurance?
Well, thank you for having me on your show. And
you're welcome.
I believe really the top issue is to make sure that you're actually taking a look at your policies as carefully as you should be. In my household, obviously, I'm the one who takes care of the insurance needs.
I would think so.
If God forbid something happened to me, my wife would then be really on her own taking a look at a lot of the insurance, whether it be your medical insurance, your auto insurance, your homeowner's insurance, other needs of insurance if you have any jewelry, fine arts, an umbrella. So I would really stress for single parents, because it's really on them to make sure that they have the correct insurance coverages, to constantly be in touch with their insurance agent or who they trust with insurance, to make sure that they are covered appropriately for their specific needs.
Well, now I think most people know about auto insurance and medical insurance and homeowners. Not everybody knows about tenant homeowners, however. If you're a tenant, rather than owning your own home, you can get a tenant HOP.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about that.
Okay. If you, we call it a renter's policy, and it's very prevalent. It's an important coverage to have, because if you are renting a home, whether it be a condo or a single-family home, you have your contents in that home. You may not own the physical walls, but you do have property in there, your stuff, your furniture, your clothes, your belongings. Your computer, your furniture, so your electronics, maybe a family heirloom that you have to make sure that's insured properly, because the owner, your landlord, would not be covering your items in the house or the condo. So it's very important to make sure that you talk to someone about getting coverage for if you're a renter in Palm Beach County.
And now tell me also, should people get an insurance checkup every year? Do you advocate that?
Absolutely. You know, insurance is ever changing. It is not a stagnant commodity. What is going on in the insurance marketplace, whether it's with auto or homeowners, which is what we talk about the most, when I was in the legislature or even on a day-to-day basis with my clients. But it's very important to make sure that you're covered adequately, that you're taking a look at your coverages. On your homeowners, for example, you should make sure that the replacement cost of the home is appropriate to what it would cost to rebuild your home. You don't want to be caught in a situation that you are underinsured, because that could put great financial hardship on you and your family, and in these economic times, you don't want to be put in that type of a situation.
And an insurance checkup costs nothing, right? There's
Correct.
No consultation charge or
Absolutely.
anything like that.
There are a great number of agents in Palm Beach County. I happen to be an independent insurance agent, so I represent a lot of insurance companies, but there are great captive agents as well that represent their company, like a State Farm or an Allstate, that represent their product. And I greatly encourage everyone to, on an annual basis, to take a look at what you have an insurance file, have all your papers in it, and then once a year to pull it out and sit down with someone and talk to someone about it.
Good. Now, what about liability insurance? Is that covered under homeowners or renters, or?
It's covered under your homeowner's policy if you own the home. a liability coverage is, for example, if someone tripped and fell in your home,
Right.
if someone,
Or if your child has a friend over.
yes, and
they're
was riding a
playing-
bike and
yeah.
fell on your property, if you hire someone to do work at your home and they don't happen to have workers' comp insurance and they get injured at your home, then your liability coverage would come into play. For the most part, it is a standard coverage on your HO3 or HO6, which is a homeowner's coverage or your condo insurance coverage. On renter's coverage, you typically the liability is on the owner of the property.
Any final advice?
You know, we are, Florida half the year is always under a hurricane watch starting from June 1st through November 30th. That is our hurricane season. I hope that all your viewers who are watching this, it is not the first time that you've heard someone say this. So, the important thing to remember is to be prepared, to have a plan of attack on if a hurricane is in the box that is coming toward us, whether it hits Florida or one of the islands or just north of us or around us. And that means being prepared, having batteries, having flashlights, knowing where you're going to go if a hurricane happens. Some people obviously get stuck at the last minute and end up staying at their home while the hurricane is hitting us, as it happened 5 and 6 years ago during the hurricane years of 04 and 05. But the real thing is to have a plan. If you go into any, I hate to mention their names, but they're so prevalent in our community, if you go into a Lowe's or a Home Depot and you talk to someone there, or if you read the newspapers, they all have a great a list of items that you should have at your home so you're prepared for a hurricane when it occurs.
And if any of our viewers wants to get in touch with you, where can they reach you?
Absolutely. My website is www.advancedins.com. That's ADVANCED-INS.com. And my phone number is 954-416-9704.
954-416-9704.
That is it, exactly.
Okay.